Okay, we're back. Rambling with Ryan, episode 6. Hopefully I got the mics on right here with only two of us again.
Hello.
Jacob Harder joins me in studio. Studio K, as we're calling it now.
Oh, Studio K.
Yes.
Studio Coco.
So we had a couple last minute bails. Adam couldn't make it. He's prior arrangements, so get to do another Rambling with Ryan episode, which are always fun. Okay, can't see. Just checking my level. That's really low. Why am I so quiet?
Oh,
yeah, that works. What's that?
Oops, I've got an email.
Oh yeah, I guess we both Jacob and I recently got the new iPhone 6. I got 64 gig. 16 gig?
I got a 16 gig. That's all I really need.
Yeah, that was a conversation. I can't. You put like 100 songs on there, a few apps. That's it.
I don't know. I got.
You can go headphones off if you want, but
I got lots of room.
But yeah, I'm loving it so far. I had the Samsung. You know, they had their the Samsung had its benefits. It really did. Like main benefit, downloading songs to your phone, right to your phone, without having to pay for them. Like, do you ever do the YouTube convert?
No.
You never have, even on your computer.
No.
So you can do it on the iMac, but you can't do it on the iPhone for some reason. That's just the way the operating system works.
Mm-hmm.
But on the Samsungs or any of the Androids, you just go to youtube.com, don't use the app, find the song you want, highlight the URL, whatever,
yeah,
and then open up another page. It's called, I think it's youtube-converter.net or .org, I can't remember. And then you just you paste that URL in, and then it converts it, and then you download it right to your phone. Like for the Samsung, you can download it right to the phone. On here, you just download it to the computer. It goes right into your iTunes. And then
I almost switched to the new Samsung.
Did you?
Yeah, I was sold on it for a little bit. They're a little bit cheaper, and frankly, it's a nice looking phone. But in the end, I just ended up staying with the iPhone because everything's on there. It's just so easy, and I like my group chats and
whatever the extra shit is that the Samsung can do, or different things other than the downloading of music. I never used.
Yeah.
I never found a use for it. I'm not the type of person that like uses the phone to its full capabilities. I want lots of. You like them on?
I do.
I like the ability to have as much music on it as I want and not bog down the phone. And I want it to be as fast as possible.
Yeah,
that's pretty much it. And that's to me, it's the iPhone.
When I went into Rogers and I was like, I'm interested in a new phone. I like the iPhone, but I like the new Samsung. What do you think? He's like, what have you always used? I'm like, I've had an iPhone for like, I don't know, 8 years, 7 years or whatever they've been out. And he's like, just stick with the iPhone. He's like, it's kind of like a PC versus Mac thing with the functionality and stuff. But he's like, if you're just used to the iPhone, just
stick with it.
Just stick with it. I do like it because it is easy, right? You got your iTunes. It's like, hey, I want this song. I download it.
That's another huge one is the, like if you go on your computer and you make a playlist, which it's way easier to make a playlist on your computer. When you're in your iTunes, it automatically makes that playlist in your phone.
Yes.
You don't have to do anything else. With the Samsung, it's not like that.
Yeah.
Right? It's just more of a pain in the ass to organize stuff, I find.
I find this, like, the synchronizing is just so easy. It's like, I want this album, this song, this whatever.
Yeah.
Sync, done. They're very user-friendly.
That's it, exactly it. 100%.
The thing is like, I know Moffat's kind of got this theory that, like, they always do the software updates, like, and they'll do a major one maybe once or twice a year. And he always thinks that Apple's basically, with their software updates, are obsoleting your current phone. So they start running slower and they start bucking up. So that way, when the new one comes out, you're like, oh, I got to get this new one.
The classic conspiracy theory, right?
Even if it's like I only had my iPhone 5C for like a year and a half.
Yeah.
Right? Which should be nothing for a phone, but I couldn't charge it anymore. Half the time, if I didn't use it for a bit, the messages wouldn't work. So I'd have to restart my phone. And all of a sudden, I'd get like 10 text messages at once from like 3 hours ago. Yeah. So that was kind of annoying.
That's exactly what was happening with my Samsung. Yeah. And I think I almost found it the opposite. I found that you would, the phone in the end would start to, like mine just before I switched over, it was fucking up like crazy because I hadn't done the update that it had been wanting me to do for like a month.
Yeah.
And then once I did the update, it was still fucked up. That's why I needed a new phone. But all of those other little bugs, gone, fixed. But
in the end, they're probably all just not built to last anyways.
No, they're not.
They're not like a TV. They're not like, an appliance. They're just, they know they can, like, think about when you buy a cell phone, like the shit you got to go through.
Well, it's a 2-year contract, right?
Yeah.
They don't want your phone to last more than that.
No.
They really don't.
They don't. Because no matter what, like, even if I decide in 3 months I want a new phone, I'm paying this phone. So they don't care, right?
That's true.
No matter what, they're getting their money for their phone that they
phone.
give you. So, like, they don't care.
Yeah, but it's like anything. Nothing's really built like it used to be built. Cars aren't built like they used to be built.
Yeah, cars are built better.
I don't know about that, man. Think about how many people drove cars from the 60s, 70s, 80s.
No, you know what?
With high kilometers for, like, I remember in high school, everyone had, like, old passed down cars.
Yeah, I think there was a stretch of, like, older cars were built well.
Yeah.
And then there was probably a stretch there for a while, maybe like the 90s and shit, where cars weren't.
Yeah.
But, like, I don't know. I got a brand new car. Like, it's fucking Mazda. That thing's going to last me forever, right?
You think so?
Like, yeah. I think so. I don't know.
My brother just got a Corolla, and that's basically, he figures it's going to last.
Yeah,
and Toyota's always been like that.
Corolla's like the number one selling car of all time. Those and Civics, and they last
forever.
You get a good Honda, you get a good Mazda, you get a good Toyota. Those things last forever.
Yeah. Well, you always used to hear stories about people with the old Preludes or the old Civics where they'd go and finally do an oil change, and then the car would fucking blow on them because it was used to running on such shit for so long.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Anyways.
So,
on to our sports topics.
Yeah. So, no Adam today, which means we can talk sports.
Yeah.
Which is, we always love to do. So, I think we should just jump right into this whole fucking Deflategate situation. So basically, anyone listening who isn't aware of this Patriots, Tom Brady, best quarterback in my opinion of all time, won the Super Bowl this year, but the crybaby Colts decided that they were going to...
That's why he wanted Bobby.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
he's a Colts fan.
He's a fan,
yeah,
but he's also very smart.
No, I know. I just kind of clued in there that I was like, that's right, he's a Colts fan.
But they took out, well, I don't even remember what the number was, 1 PSI?
It was like 1 PSI lower than normal.
Of the football for the AFC Championship game against the Indianapolis Colts. And their GM, Jim Irsay, Crybaby Irsay, decided that he was going to raise a stink about it. Tom Brady has now been suspended for 4 games. The team lost a first-round draft pick this year and a second round.
Next year.
No, 4th round. Wasn't it? I thought it was a 4th round next year.
And
check it
and
out.
$1 million
anyway,
fine.
They lost $1 million fine, lost 2 draft picks, and Brady, the best quarterback next to him and Aaron Rodgers, probably in the league, I would say right now, gone for 4 games. Which, to start off with,
that's 25% of the season. That's pretty big.
But for me, they're still going to make the playoffs.
And he's only going to get 2 games.
And he's
getting a knockdown.
Either way, he gets a rest in the beginning of the year. An older quarterback who's played into the playoffs every year. It could turn out to be a decent thing if they can still make the playoffs.
Yeah, you can say he's an older quarterback, but I mean, like, the guy doesn't really take that much abuse, and he's smart. And
yeah, that's very true.
He's not a guy who's in there getting beaten up all the time where you're like, oh, he needs rest. I mean, the guy never misses games, except for when he tore his knee there a couple years ago.
Yeah, and that was like, it was just one of those things, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's just taking the shitty hit.
I'm just trying to find what the actual... Anyway, so, you're the guest. I'll let you... So what do you think about the whole... Okay, to start, when you look at the actual allegations and what allegedly happened, because in the report, they had an independent...
They had a lot of, we believe. There was no... Yeah, they didn't throw any, like, concrete evidence down.
Right.
And I don't know. I just think it's stupid. I mean, like, first of all, this whole situation can be avoided with the NFL handling its own balls.
Yeah.
Like, you don't see... Diggity. I mean, Major League Baseball doesn't just hand the starting pitchers, 12 baseballs, because they'd be like, well, fuck, I'm going to doctor this thing for sure. And, same thing with hockey. Like, teams aren't getting pucks before games. NBA teams aren't getting their basketballs before the games. Why is the NFL, which is the biggest league in the world, pretty much, except for maybe like Premiership Soccer or whatever, why are they, each individual team, allowed to bring their own footballs out to a game? This is we're not even allowed to do that in our men's league, pretty much. Like, the refs bring the pucks out, which is ridiculous. So, frankly, if you have
the
that
refs take pucks from us though in men's.
Do they do that? Whatever.
They take our pucks.
Okay, whatever. But anyways, and like, giving the team footballs to bring giving the team the opportunity to bring their own footballs out is basically just giving them the opportunity to cheat.
Well,
and I'm sorry, I know a lot of people hate the Patriots just because they win and just because Tom Brady's like the American dream, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And I think they might get picked on a little more. Who knows? But all teams do this. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, like, just like when a pitcher gets caught with pine tar in his hat, or like a pitcher last night got thrown out in Milwaukee on the Brewers because he had sunscreen and rosin on his arm, and he forgot to wipe it off before he went out to pitch, so he got thrown out of the game because it's a foreign substance. Well, one of the hitters came out, I can't remember who it was, and he said, Freddie Freeman from the Braves, and he came out and he said, we know all the pitchers do that, and we don't care because it gives them better control so they don't throw it at our heads. Yeah. Like, everybody does it, and I think just people love to hate the Patriots, so they become scapegoats in this. And frankly, Goodell fucked up Ray Rice. He fucked up. Well, he didn't really fuck up Adrian Peterson. He suspended him for the year after the review. But like
Ray Rice, they really
fucked up on Rice. And so basically, I think they're kind of just paying for all these other fuck ups. But these are like real life fuck ups where guys are beating their wives and beating their kids, as opposed to deflating a football 1 psi.
Yeah, and that's the thing is that I went on Facebook. There was a whole post and a whole thread of this back and forth, and my whole point was exactly what you're saying, and all that you kept getting back for that point was, how can you compare those two? How can you compare a team cheating to win and a personal issues of? It's not the point. The point is the inconsistencies in the penalties that are handed out by the NFL, and the point is that this Deflategate has become a bigger issue to people than a guy who beats women.
Who visibly, like, there was video evidence.
Regardless, I don't know what happened. I don't know what she said. I don't know what their relationship.
It doesn't matter what she said.
It doesn't matter what she said. But you also don't know. I think that a lot of times people, you should never hit a woman. In my opinion, in your opinion.
Yes.
Maybe she fucking gets off on it. You don't know. People are fucking weird these days. I don't think that's the case.
Okay, I could get that,
but you never know. Like, obviously, she doesn't want to be knocked out. But you don't know what their back and forth relationship is. Maybe this time he hit her too hard. Who knows? I don't know. Regardless,
regardless of what their private relationship is, it became public when he punched her out in an elevator. Mm-hmm. And Goodell handled that poorly.
Extremely.
And there's all those rumors that he saw that video before and still only gave him 2 games.
Regardless of if he's seen the video, if he knew I hit my wife in an elevator, whatever the facts he knew that there was an assault.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all you need to know. And the guy only gets 2 games. Yeah. Like, you're trying to present the NFL to a fan base as family friendly, and it's a privilege
to play in the NFL. Yeah. Like, there is a certain standard that you have to upkeep, and frankly, they're the worst fucking league for idiots, anyways. Like, they're between domestic disputes and drunk driving and drug charges and shit. It's like, man, you guys, you made it that far. Like, figure your life out.
Yeah, figure this mic out. Fuck. Sorry about that. Just having some technical difficulties here. Stay there. Well, the other side to it is that I understand you don't want people to cheat. I get that too. I totally understand that argument that people are making. They're cheaters. The problem is, and this was my whole point that I was trying to make on this thread, that people, for some reason, weren't understanding. I'm not denying that they did anything wrong, and I'm not denying whether Brady knew about it. I'm not denying any of that. I'm saying that everybody is cheating in professional sports in one way or another.
Absolutely.
Whether it's PEDs, whether it's deflating footballs, whether it's spying on other teams and play calls. Whatever it is, everyone is trying to find, whether it's pumping like the Colts did and got caught for in 2005, pumping noise into their stadium?
No, the Falcons.
No, the Colts.
Did they get busted too?
They got busted in 2005.
Well, the Falcons did it, and it's like when all those things come out in baseball, it's like they were stealing signs. Yeah, fucking right. Every team is trying to steal the other team's signs. Yeah. If you know that pitcher's throwing you a fastball, these are professional hitters. If they know that, they're absolutely going to tee off on it.
Yeah.
Same as hockey players using illegal sticks all games. Mm-hmm. Man, they all do it. Mm-hmm. They absolutely all do it. It gets you that edge, and eventually one team finally gets caught.
I understand.
And it so happens at this time it was the Patriots again, and that whole Spygate thing makes this look even worse. And they won the Super Bowl, so everyone thinks they just cheated their way to victory.
But they won the Super Bowl against the team that had been penalized the most for PEDs.
Yes,
and you don't hear a fucking peep.
And let's
about
not
that.
forget that
not a peep.
Let's not forget this. If Seattle runs that football in, nobody's probably talking about it.
It's probably over.
Nobody probably cares.
Yeah.
Seattle wins back-to-back Super Bowls.
Yeah.
Patriots lose.
That's the story.
Nobody cares. Oh, they deflated some footballs, whatever. They beat the Colts in
but
the
they
AFC
won.
final. But instead, they win on nothing that they even control. I mean, yes, they picked the playoff, but I mean, like, they were lost. That game was over. And they got to, a lucky play out of it.
The other thing is, because there's this website, Your Team Cheats. It shows every sports team.
Oh, wow.
Right? And it will tell you.
Look at this.
The cheating. Let's just check the Colts. Let's see what happened with the Colts here, because I was looking at this earlier.
Suck for luck.
So, number one, they have been accused of purposefully losing.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Well, they didn't bring back Peyton Manning. They bring back Peyton Manning that year.
No, but this was the year that he was hurt.
Was he hurt that year?
I believe so. That was the year he was hurt.
No. Yes.
Yes. Because he was hurt that year. They sucked. But, I mean, come on. The Patriots lost Brady, and they still won 10 games.
Yeah, and they only missed out in the play.
I'm not saying...
but they had Matt Castle as a backup,
who was a decent quarterback. He knew the system.
Good enough to
and Belichick's the coach.
Who
I get
the Colts have? Like,
yeah, that's
nobody,
true.
Right?
Well, so you get rid of that. They had a lot of PEDs issues. 2007. Pumping noise into their stadium. And Deflategate. They also were found to have released pressure from their balls.
Oh, were they?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, it's all...
Although the Wells investigation was hired by the NFL to dig up dirt implicating the Patriots, it actually unwittingly uncovered the Colts' own ball deflation cheating at halftime and at the end of the game. 4 Colts footballs were tested, and in both cases, 3 out of 4 footballs were found to be deflated below the legal 12.5 PSI minimum on at least one official's gauge.
And that's in the Wells report.
Yep.
And nobody brought that up.
No.
I didn't even know that.
So that shows you their balls.
Yeah. So there you go. Who cares? Someone was telling me at work that like Eli Manning takes like a month to prepare his footballs before they're ready.
What?
Yeah.
Just getting them worn?
Just getting them kind of in, and he kind of likes to like
they have a
shave
feel,
them
and
or
I
something
understand
like that. And I get that too. Same with pitching. Like I pitch, right?
Yeah.
You want a nice feel of the ball,
mm-hmm.
and it's the same thing. It's like if you give a pitcher a ball before a game, he's going to be in there. He's going to be filing the seams down. He gets that much more spin on it. He's going to be rubbing grip on it and shit. Granted, a Major League Baseball does not last that long in a game, so there's really not that much you can cheat on it, as opposed to pitchers more put stuff on their body, right? Like you get a little rosin, you get a little pine tar. Well, rosin's legal, but you get a little pine tar in the ball and stuff. You get that much more grip. You can throw the ball 1 or 2 miles an hour harder. You can make it spin that much more, right? Yeah. The more control you have of the ball, the more you can manipulate it.
And they've been doing this since the fucking 40s.
Forever.
I was watching the documentary. I don't know if you've watched. It's on Netflix. It's called No No. It's about why now his name's slipping my mind. But he played for the Pittsburgh Pirates, and he was always on drugs.
Oh,
threw a no hitter on LSD.
It's oh fuck, get his name. It's gonna drive me crazy as soon as I see this.
No, Doc Ellis.
Okay, that's what I'm thinking.
No, Doc Ellis. And in that documentary, they were talking about how it was well known. They were called greenies. The drugs they were taking, It was an amphetamine. This was in Babe Ruth's time. Okay. They were taking these things, and there was because they always talk about how in that time guys would every night be out boozing, getting shit faced with prostitutes, whatever, and then get up and go play a day game the next day.
Yeah.
And there's no way you'd be able to do that sober. Like, and that's how, you know, these greenies came to be. I can't remember what's exactly in them, but they're an amphetamine.
Okay. I remember reading Pet Treats.
That's not them.
I remember reading this book on
I think
Dennis Oil Can Boyd, and he chucked for the Red Sox in the 80s, and he had
Dexamyl.
He had drug problems.
But they called him green.
And in his book, he talked about how he used
Sorry, who is this? Sorry, I'm not.
Dennis Oil Can Boyd.
Okay.
His biography, they call me Oil Can.
Yeah.
Big drug problem.
Yeah.
As lots of guys did through the 70s and 80s and 90s and baseball.
And even now.
Yeah.
I mean, you hear about guys in the 90s and the 2000s coming out. It's just that the guys playing right now, they're still playing.
Mm-hmm. But anyway, so this guy, like, he used to pitch an inning. He'd run to his car in the parking lot and he'd smoke crack during the games. And he was very good, but like his drugs kind of just fucked with him or whatever. And so he tells a story of one time of how he's pitching a game at Fenway or whatever. Throws pitch. Tim Raines, I don't know who he's playing for then, probably the Expos, steals second. And he's got a vial of crack on him. And it falls out. The umpire sees it. He grabs it quickly before anyone can really clue in, but Oil Can's just like recognize what that was.
Yeah.
It's like, that's fucked. Like, the guy's playing a game with crack in his pocket.
Yeah.
And it falls out.
There was that 30 for 30 about the guy. He ended up playing for, I think, Boston and the Knicks. He was like this high school player who was highly touted. Same thing. He started with pot, but then he had issues. So he was trying to soothe his pain, right? So eventually he got into heroin, and he was playing in the NBA while on heroin. He literally had to run outside to get the drugs from the guy. Like they're doing warm up.
Yeah.
It was a part of it. He was in the middle of warm up, texting this guy or waiting for a phone call. I can't remember what year.
Probably calling back.
Calling, waiting for his dealer to show up in the parking lot. Ran outside in the freezing cold to get his drugs, so he could play his game because he wasn't going to be able to play because of the withdrawals.
Yeah. Wow. I don't know about that one. Not the Len Bias one.
No, that was really good though.
I haven't seen that one.
No, you haven't?
He dies out of college though.
Who does?
Len Bias, does he not?
No, he's still alive. Oh wait, sorry,
no,
Len
Bias is dead. He was like a high pick and he died.
I'm thinking of Leitner.
Oh yeah, Christian Leitner. Yeah, no, I haven't seen that.
I hate Christian Leitner.
Yeah.
That one was really good.
That was just recent. I haven't seen many of the new ones.
Let's see here. I'll find it here. The band that wouldn't die, Small Potatoes, Muhammad and Larry. Without Bias. That's the one you're talking about.
Bias, yeah.
And that one was really good too. 30 for 30, man. I remember
they got some good shit.
I remember that when the first couple years they did them, I think it was on a podcast they were talking about it, and they lost a lot of money. Like, it was not something that was money generating at first because they were so expensive to make.
I bet, yeah.
And you can tell they're all
they're
so
putting
well
so much
done.
shit into an hour, right? Or 2 hours with the two Escobars on.
I'll know it when I see it, but man, there's a lot of these that I haven't even seen.
Yeah, there's a lot I haven't seen either.
Holy crap!
I think Miller's seen pretty much all of them.
Well, I now hopefully I'll be able to, but
I've got a bunch saved on my PVR, but I just never watch them.
John Singleton, Jonathan Hawk, Thaddeus. Oh, that's the director. Oh, okay, that doesn't make sense. I was trying to see what the one was, but anyway, yeah, they're really well done. As far as sports documentaries go,
they're excellent.
You get like Billy Corbin, who is an amazing documentary filmmaker. He's got a couple out that I still want to see, not even sports related. But yeah, they were. But in closing, free Tom Brady. I mean, to be honest, I'm a huge Patriots fan. He's more of just an NBA fan, likes Brady because he's
NFL fan.
Trying to get someone on who kind of seen the other side to take it. But I mean, I can understand the cheating side of it. But until these leagues, and it's not just the NFL. I mean, the UFC, 80% of the fighters are on PEDs, I mean, it's one of those things
There's
where
ways around it, right?
There's people who, a lot of the fighters just they can't compete unless they're on it because they will get. And to me, NFL, NHL, NBA, if you want to legalize PEDs, I personally don't care. It's going to make it's a personal choice for these players. If it's going, they know it's going to fuck up their body. But if these guys want to do that to themselves.
But it also depends. Nowadays, there's certain things you can take that I'm sure will be fine. It's not like just steroids back in the day, right? Where people are just jamming needles in their body and working out and they have no idea what they're doing.
That's very true. I completely...
This isn't like you know, like, there's, you see it in the WWF or WWE now, right? There's, like, so many guys die in their 40s, and that's because all they used to do is roids, go through the show, so many painkillers, and they, like... Those are the lives that fuck you up, right? Like, that's why those guys are dying. It's just like, nowadays, there's so many different steroids, so many different ways, and blah, blah, blah. But like, when baseball was going through its quote-unquote steroid area, I didn't care, man.
No.
Guys were in bombs.
It
wasn't illegal then.
No, and it's more, like,
and
it makes the game more exciting, and it's their personal choice to do it. The difference in the UFC is that you can fuck somebody up. Like, you're putting your fist into someone's face, and those supplements can make it a lot easier to do that.
You make them
like,
more
I think
explosive and stuff.
I think it's a little bit of a different. You're talking about someone's brain.
Yes.
Right. I think it's a totally different situation.
But that's the thing with the PEDs, right? Like in baseball or whatever, it's like back in the 90s, if you knew some guy on your team was doing it, and you had to do it to keep up. Well, if it's gonna be the difference between a few $1 million and you being set for life, would you not do it, right?
Yeah.
And they weren't testing then, so hey, you know, Big Mac's juicing. He's hitting 60 bombs a year. All of a sudden, I go from hitting 9 home runs and a 240 average to hitting 25 home runs, and I'm hitting 290 because all of a sudden all those doubles and long fly balls are going out of the park.
Yeah.
Hey, I turn my $800,000 contract into, you know, $5-6 mil a year.
Yep, and now you're set for life.
Now you're set for life, and your family's set for life.
It's an extremely small price to pay for the amount of money you're going to make out of it in 1 or 2 years. Like, to me, look, Chris Davis. That guy came out of nowhere. Not out of nowhere. He was still good. You probably know more about that than I do. But to me, as the average fan, all of a sudden, who's Chris Davis? Who is this guy who's just hitting bombs?
See, with him, he's nowadays. I work with a guy who does, he goes down to spring training and he does the drug testing and he gives me all the information on it. Nobody is dirty nowadays in Major League Baseball. Those guys get tested like multiple times a week.
Really?
They have people living in each city who work there who show up at every single night for every single game, and you test a certain amount of people on the home team, a certain amount of people on the away team. And he's like, and it's every night. So no matter what, like, if you're doing it, you are getting caught. So he says. So see, now that's amazing. If that's really what's happening, that's what the UFC needs. That is no. He's not going to bullshit me because he's gone to spring training for like the last 4 or 5 years, and he tells me, he's like, I blood test these guys, I urine test these guys, and he's like, he tells me he won't name names of who he tests and stuff, which is obviously fine. But he says most of the players hate A-Rod and they hate Ryan Braun because he got off that few years ago when he tested positive. Braun, and he got off on a complete loophole. Like, he failed. But because what happened is that Major League Baseball rules are slightly different from like the international doping rules. Okay. And so with the international doping rules, like the Olympic ones that they follow or whatever, the rule is if you get tested on a weekend, and the clinics aren't open, the guy who administers the sample, he holds on to it until Monday morning. First thing Monday morning, he either ships it out or he drives it to the place. Like, depends where he is. Yeah. And so with Ryan Braun, he got tested on a weekend, and then the guy did what he was supposed to do under the international rules, which was hold on to it until Monday. He sent it in. But because Major League Baseball rules say once it's done, you have to take it immediately to the clinic or wherever, He didn't do that because he followed the international rules. So that's how Ryan Braun got off.
But I didn't think he got off. Wasn't he suspended for a year?
He ended up getting suspended later on as kind of like I failed, so I'm going to do this as like goodwill.
Yeah.
Because he got, what did he get? 50 games. Because the rule is like 50, 100, and then the season. So he took a 50-game suspension. Because that was when more and more started coming out, and they were like, "Hey, we know, like everyone knows you did it. So just take these 50 games, and people will."
How many years has it been now that they've been doing this severe of testing? Would you say
it's probably like 6 or 7 years.
Okay, yeah, that's quite a bit. Because I was just thinking, with PEDs, with a lot of steroids, it actually will alter your body's composition. You can stop taking them, and if you stop taking steroids, say the average guy like that we know, who did a couple cycles and then stopped and got fat. Well, that's because they stopped working out.
They stopped working out, yeah.
But if you continue working out, you will always have more strength.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Always have more.
There's
bone
lots
density.
of people who just
so these
a guy like myself, right? Like I can't. It's tough for me to gain weight, right? So I could be a guy who does a couple cycles, then just never do it again. I might gain 15 pounds, right? And then I just work out naturally again, right? Mm-hmm. And you just get to maintain it.
But the thing about, if you talk to anybody who's been on them, is it's a confidence booster. That's one of the main.
Well, absolutely. You start gaining size, right? You're gonna be like, yeah.
But you feel stronger. You feel better. It gives you more energy. Your fucking dick is rock hard. Feel like you can cut glass. These are things I've been informed of. But clearly I'm not on it. But that lasts. So I think there's still a lot of players in the major leagues who are still benefiting from being. Oh no! At some
you know what? There's a few guys absolutely. You could see in the kind of way their numbers went.
Yeah.
That they were doing it. Shit started to get cracked down, and they stopped.
Yeah.
Like one guy for me is Adrian Beltre.
Yeah.
Guy was a stud. All of a sudden, McGuire's busted. Sosa's busted. Palmeiro's busted. A-Rod's busted. Throughout these years. The guy's terrible for like 2 years. Mm-hmm. Now, granted, he's back to being awesome again, and he could be reaping the benefits. I don't know. I'm just total speculation from him because he was so good, and then he just went, and then became so good again. So, but then you can tell the guys like who totally did it back in the '90s, because like Brady Anderson used to be a leadoff hitter for the Orioles, maybe a 15 home run guy. 1 year he knocks out 50.
Yeah,
like okay, buddy.
Yeah, clear. Exactly.
Like, we know what you're up to.
Exactly.
And see, the thing is from the public perspective, is most people who did it, anybody who said they did it, nobody cares.
No.
Andy Pettit did it. He came out, you know what, guys? I had an injury. I did some HGH. I failed. Yeah. I'm sorry for doing it. Everybody loves Andy Pettit. He's going to the Hall of Fame. He's got his number retired by the Yankees. Yeah. People hate A-Rod. Denied. People hate Ryan Braun. Denied.
Yeah.
Same with McGuire. McGuire finally admitted it, but like, people just, if you admit you did wrong, people are gonna.
Did Clemens ever admit?
No, still is yet to admit it.
Oh.
See him, I don't know, because I just, knowing from like pitching my whole life, like there's not a ton of benefit for a pitcher to just get big. Like,
but see, that's
pitching's all about like flexibility and your core strength and mechanics and things like that. Like, Randy Johnson's a fucking toothpick. David Wells was a fat ass. Pedro Martinez was never in great shape. Those guys can just throw. I mean, I understand. Like, if you just go to the gym and bulk, but if you just go to the gym and get big, doesn't mean you're going to throw harder.
No.
At all.
But that's
you can hit farther.
That's a huge misconception when it comes to PEDs. And that's why, for the longest
everyone
time,
assumes you just get big.
Everyone assumed no one in the NHL is doing it. Because look at these guys. They aren't huge.
They're all kind of cut, lean guys.
PEDs, depending on what you're taking.
It's true. That's true.
It can still make you stronger, but not bulk you up huge.
Yeah.
And that's like I was one of those people. I was like, oh, there's no way
because
people
everyone
in the NHL are doing it. Look at them. They're just cut. They're not getting big. But
that's because everyone assumes it's steroids means you get big and bulky, and why would an NHL player do that? You have to move around a lot,
need
right?
To be
for a batter, it's like you get big and bulky. Like, you just got to hit a ball.
Yeah,
you put on 20, 30 pounds of weight or muscle, you're gonna smash the ball.
It's funny that it took so long after you see the transformation that like Barry Bonds made, in his body. Like, it's amazing that it took that long for it to come to fruition.
And the thing with him is, like, Barry Bonds was probably a Hall of Fame player before he started juicing.
Yeah. And then
like, the guy was an unbelievable hitter.
I think eventually he'll put him in.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Honestly, the only thing I care, Barry Bonds was just an asshole. But I don't care if he juiced. Whatever.
See, and that's, I don't give, like,
I don't care.
I don't care about the juicing, and I don't care if a player's an asshole. I care how he is on the field with his teammates. If you're a good teammate, you do everything you can do to win for your team.
See, and Barry Bonds does have that rep as people liked him.
Yeah.
As his teammates. They said he was a good teammate.
Yeah.
He had his bit of a diva, but they said he came off mostly as a good teammate. He just kind of came off as an ass in the media.
Mm-hmm.
But again, the thing with baseball is it wasn't illegal, so
mm-hmm.
now they're punishing these guys for not putting them in the Hall of Fame for something that wasn't illegal.
Exactly.
So I don't know. Like,
you feel very comfortable with that baseball in your hand, don't you?
I always play with it here. Always.
I feel the same way, like, even with like anything football, not really basketball or
just like
baseball, but a football for me, I always like just like tossing it in my hand. Unfortunately,
get some grips
not
going.
Doing that for a while again. So I think we should get on to the second probably biggest news in the last while.
Oh, fine.
You don't want to talk about it?
Oh, it's just annoying.
Why is it? Okay, so Babcock gets hired by the Toronto Maple Leafs. Coach, ex-coach now of the Detroit Red Wings. I think widely known as the best coach in hockey.
Is he, though? He's definitely one of the.
I think I'm with you on that. I think that
he's definitely a top 3 coach.
He is a top 3 coach.
You also got Quenneville, pretty damn good.
Quenneville, but man, I'm sorry. Look at the team.
Yeah, so look at the team Babcock inherited.
Babcock, yes, but Babcock inherited a good team in the beginning, but he has kept that team competitive for 10 years,
fair enough.
They haven't passed the first round, I don't think, in 4 years. Something like that.
I think it was 4 and haven't passed the second in 6.
His star players were getting old. Lost Lidstrom.
Yes.
Took some hits.
No. He's absolutely a good coach.
Won gold twice since 2010. There's something about him, to me, when you listen to him talk, like in his interview that he did the other night in his press conference. He looks extremely confident. He looks like he never for 1 second questions his plan or his methods.
Mm-hmm.
He knows exactly what he's doing, and no one's going to change that. Like, he's not a coach who's going to go into a team and have a GM or a president or someone alter the way he wants things to go with his team. Mm-hmm. And he's a guy who I think players, no matter what, as soon as he enters that dressing room, Toronto is a completely different team already, in my opinion, just with him coming into that dressing room, because he's that kind of a coach. His demeanor, his confidence, all of those things combined, I think players look at him differently than a lot of other coaches. That's my take on him.
Yeah, I can kind of get that, but I don't know. Toronto's a disaster. And I don't think he's going to be the savior.
I think he is.
I don't know.
He
needs players. He's got nothing.
But that's the thing, is that he's committed. That's why he's in an 8-year contract. Yeah, he's committed.
He's in an 8-year contract if he's got $50 million.
You believe it that way. I don't see that when you hear him talk about it. I really don't believe that. Obviously he wants the $50 million, but I don't think he's ever been a guy who's really cared about making a shit ton of money. I think he loves the game of hockey. I think he wants to win first and foremost, and I think he knows he's looked at in Detroit as a guy who inherited a great team and, got lucky with draft picks along the way. I think he wants this challenge. I really do believe he went to Toronto because he knows it's going to be the hardest place to turn around and win a cup out of the ones that he had narrowed down the choices.
I think he went to Toronto because, 1, he got paid $50 million, and 2, if they ever do win the cup with him, those guys are going down as gods. And there's that factor.
Mm-hmm. And I told
where it's like him, Shanny, whoever else they just hired as the management. Like, I think
Hunt the GM? Or they don't have a GM yet.
No, it's probably going to be Shanahan.
No. The Hunt. Some Hunt guy. I can't remember his first name.
No.
Yeah.
They brought in a Hunter.
Hunter. Sorry, not Hunt.
I don't think he's the GM.
No, but they're saying he most likely will be the next
well, maybe
GM.
then. But I think those guys all know that Toronto is a like Babcock even said it. He's like, they're a joke right now. But
they have pieces. They don't have pieces.
They have very minimal pieces.
I think,
frankly, Buffalo or Edmonton would have been. They're farther along than the Leafs. You've got fat fucking dumb Kessel, idiot Phaneuf. For young talent, they have Morgan Riley. They have that Willem Nylander, who's over in Sweden right now.
They have Kadri.
I don't care about that guy.
No? See, and here's the thing.
See, that guy's a whiner. He's a fucking baby. But you know what? His attitude could change. It depends on because right now their leadership group is Phaneuf and his Kessel, and those guys are fucking whiners. Phil Kessel, I hate Phil Kessel. That guy should be traded to Siberia.
I don't like Phil Kessel either. I'm going to agree with you on that. But, play devil's advocate here for a second. What if the whole problem in that group is not the players, it's the mentality, it's the pressure, it's all of these things that Toronto has been faced with for how long? How hard is it to come out of that hole? And you've got players like Phil Kessel, who as soon as he got to Toronto had the fucking weight of the world on his shoulders.
That's because he was traded, a dumbass trade for
exactly. But you can't blame him for that. And ever since he's been there, it doesn't matter what he's done. It's never been good enough. Same with Phaneuf.
Yeah, but
I think Phaneuf is an overrated defenseman, but he's still a top 4 defenseman in the National Hockey League. He is. And I think with the right coaching, I think that team has players that right now you don't see as being prospects, but with Babcock,
who?
Well, I think Kessel can turn it around. I think with the right leadership,
Kessel's always been good there. I just hate him. He had a shitty year this year. Yeah. I just think he's got a bad attitude.
He still needs to become a team player.
Yes,
and that's been his issue. And I think that's something that Babcock can turn around. Phaneuf, he makes bad choices, but I think a lot of that is pressure, and he tries to do too much a lot of the time because.
Now he was junking his end years in Calgary though. But why can Babcock all of a sudden make Kessel a team player?
Because there's coaches that can just do that.
It's not that easy though.
Why? I'm not saying it's going to be easy.
Some guys are just built.
That's why he's going to make
some guys are just built to be dicks.
I totally agree, and I think every team has that. I think look at someone like Kessler. He's a fucking asshole.
Yeah, but that guy, he was a team guy.
But he was he always did everything he could to win, and that
is not what Kessel does at all.
No. But that's where I'm going with this. Is that I think a good coach and I think winning can change a lot of things. And I think with someone like Kessel, I think if you can change the atmosphere of that dressing room, everybody else, and I think if you can instill confidence in him, I'm not saying he's going to change his personality. He's still going to be who he is. But I think you can get players. It's a lot easier to accept people for who they are when you're winning and when things are going well.
Everything's easy
when you believe in the system, and that is what I think Babcock can bring to them.
He might be able to, but
I'm not saying that he's going to. I think they're 3-4 years away from really starting to see.
Maybe
2 years, 3 years.
I'm just saying that
see him in the playoffs.
As good as coach he is, I just don't think they have much there.
But look at what they did just 2 years ago.
Yeah, I know. But then they all fell apart. And they lost some good guys from that team.
I don't know. That's where
you lost like Clark MacArthur. You lost.
That's the thing is I don't follow a lot of players.
They don't have the intangible guys, right? They've got you've got.
But that's stuff you can easily trade for.
No,
is those third and fourth line guys?
It's not that easy. You can't. You can trade. Okay, trading for a player who can do it on the ice, and then trading for somebody who's brings those intangibles, which is so key to winning a cup, right?
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, it's like every year, right? Okay, the Blues.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that team. Such good talent. Every year, people pick the Sharks, and the talent on the ice is there, but they just don't have those intangible kind of things that really bring teams together. It's like you don't have like that Jonathan Toews fucking win at all costs, or those role players who are like that just fit in so well.
For me, my kind of thought on that is
Nicky, I need a beer.
my kind of thought on that is that I think people underestimate how much luck has to do with playoffs now because the teams are
it does.
so good.
It does.
Absolutely. Look at the Blackhawks Anaheim. Anaheim hit 3 posts. Like I know these guys know what to do, but I mean that is the difference between Chicago going home 2-1 or going home 1-1 and
for sure.
2-1.
I absolutely winning the cup a lot. There's
a lot of luck.
There's a lot of luck because you need to be healthy. You need to get your guys going. You need to get
But continuity and a well-oiled dressing room makes a huge
well-oiled dressing room
difference.
is so big. It's huge.
Yeah.
It's absolutely huge.
It can tear a team
Think
apart.
about it, even like even going down to like us bums in men's league, right? You got those 1 or 2 guys that kind of. I mean, we don't have it, right? But
Not anymore.
Not anymore, right? But like those 1 or 2
But
guys,
that's the
they
thing,
kind of ruin it,
out.
right? And it's like I don't want to go to ball. I don't want to go to hockey because so and so's there or something. It's like it's the same reason a few of us.
I've been fighting to get you off the team for years.
Exactly right.
It's just,
but I buy the jerseys, so
yeah. Exactly.
But it's the same reason why a few of us quit our ball hockey team this year. A few guys were it just wasn't fun. I don't want to come and listen to you.
No, you don't.
It's men's league ball hockey. Like I want to come, I want to have fun with my friends, and then drink some beers after, and it's like blah blah blah. Shut up.
That's the problem with professional sports, though, is you get a lot of.
Well, you do get.
You have to be able to put up with.
Thanks, babe.
We're almost ready for current events when you guys are, if you have any.
We'll try.
Okay.
Take them up. We got 10 minutes.
You know what? We can keep going with this if you guys are fine. You got.
We can rant.
We can keep ranting. Okay. All right,
no, but the thing with is like, I'm sure in professional sports it's tough to keep a well-oiled room because you've got $6 million guys, you've got $800,000 guys, you've got $20 million guys. It depends what sport it is, right? And so it's like you're gonna get these guys who are like, he's getting paid $20 million a year. Why isn't he hitting a home run every at bat? I'm getting paid $700,000, and I might get sent down in the minors if I don't get a hit for a week. So there's those kind of things where it's like they may both be great guys, but there's just that little factor where it's like, hey, he doesn't do his job. He's not going anywhere. And he's set for life. I don't do my job. I'm going back to riding the buses now. If I don't hit down there, my career might be over.
And that, to me, is where a coach like Babcock or any top coach becomes worth what they're getting paid, because coaches nowadays they don't just have to know X's and O's and line matchups and any of that. They need to be almost psychologists. They need to be able to see what players need to hear and when. They need to know how to deal with conflicts, and they need to know basically how to keep all these different personalities because when you're dealing with stars, for the most part, they're gonna be eccentric, or they're gonna be introverted or extrovert.
They're gonna have their sense of entitlement, and
you have to be able to deal with that, because you don't normally get star players who aren't like that. You have to have some level of cockiness or arrogance, self.
Now, see, that's going to depend on what sport it is, because frankly, your star players in hockey, mostly pretty humble dudes. You get your star players in NFL, and it's like some just shut up. Like those guys who like cry over like, oh, they didn't throw to me, or they didn't give it to me, blah blah. Most of your hockey players are just like.
Can you wait till we're done, please?
Most of the hockey players go by like the generic kind of crap. Like you look at the Sedins, right? Look at the Sidney Crosby, whatever. They're all. They don't come off as that prima donna in the media or anything like that, and you get a lot of it from football players.
Okay,
especially the wide receivers.
Yeah,
you do. Look at Des Bryant, like pouting on the sidelines. He's got his big fucking earrings in. The guy's awesome.
Yeah,
but that's one of those ones like, shut up, okay?
Yeah.
You know what? The game goes how the game goes.
Yeah.
If you're getting double teamed and Roma wants to throw to Jason Witten 78 times because he's open, that's just... If that's what it takes to win, that's what it takes to win.
Yeah.
And you kind of don't get that from hockey players. It's not like, oh, I didn't get my 3 points tonight. The guys aren't whining like that. They're like, the fourth line chipped in tonight. You know what? We won. We won 1-0.
Okay,
you can't score every night.
Here's the thing. I think in the NHL, I don't know how it works. I'm not in the States, so I don't see a lot of coverage when it comes to college football and all of that. But I don't think, I don't know, like, do they get the same, like a star player in the NHL who has come up as a star his whole life, from the time he's basically 15, is been in the limelight. They get used to it really early,
and they get so much media training and all that crap.
Yeah.
So they're so used to it.
Yeah.
I assume it's the same. I don't.
Plus,
know
here's the other thing
either.
with but you can't. You hear about it in the NBA a bit because guys they want to be the guy that the ball comes to, but not as much as the NFL. And I just kind of the theory I'm kind of coming with is that in the NFL you play once a week. Okay, if you're not getting your touches, you got to wait another week to get that ball. In the NFL or in the NHL, especially, you're playing every other night most of the time. Maybe 2 nights in between. If you don't get your pucks, your goals that night, the next game. Maybe it's very rare that guys go on 2-week-long.
It's
droughts.
true. You don't score one night, you're like, whatever, I'll score the next night.
Exactly.
But the thing with the NFL, too, is like, there's so many guys who are star players at their positions that we have no idea who they are.
Mm-hmm.
O-linemen, D-linemen,
Mm-hmm. They never
linebackers, quarterbacks.
see the camera.
You basically, out of all the star players in the NFL, you know the quarterbacks, you know the running backs, you know the wide receivers, and you know like the superstar defensive players like J.J. Watt and like whatever, like Aqib Talib and all those guys, right? Like,
Aqib Talib wasn't even there.
Not even anymore.
Until he came to the Patriots, nobody knew who he was. And then he goes to Denver.
Sure,
and
whatever.
Meh.
But you know those guys, right? Like, who the hell knew who Troy Polamalu was until he started ripping up the league defensively?
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So, with hockey, yeah, you're right. Like, they're groomed. Like, and especially with us because we're Canadians, right? We know all these guys. We watch them in junior, we watch them in the World Juniors, and then it's draft day, and we know who they're picked by, and it's like, so-and-so.
It's very rare in the NHL, especially, that a player comes out of nowhere as just a snipe show. It's extremely rare. It happens all the time in the NFL that all of a sudden you have this receiver or even a quarterback who is a third, Tom Brady, 6th round draft pick, because it's so bogged down with players. It's just,
and the NFL is so by its book. It's like you got to be big, you got to run a quick 40.
Yeah.
We'll take you here, we'll take you there. It's all in your comment. The NHL is like. NHL kind of goes by its size and speed and stuff too, but hey, Tyler Johnson's leading the playoffs in scoring right now. Undrafted, didn't make 2 NHL camps, finally cracks the Lightning.
He is ripping it up too.
Watch that guy play hockey. Fuck, he is good.
It amazes me how you missed that.
See, this is where it pisses me off from a Canucks perspective. How you missed that? The guy played on Portland. He was the playoff MVP. Or was he play on Portland or Spokane? I can't remember. One of them. It was playoff MVP.
Yeah.
Undrafted. Goes to 2 NHL camps. And they can't even give this guy like a PTO. It's the same as like... I know people rip on us for not drafting Lucic, but he went in the 2nd round. And I kind of understand with that a bit. But Gallagher. That's what pisses me off.
Man?
3rd round pick. The W...
3rd round?
He was a 3rd or 4th.
No, he was like a 6th round.
No, he's 3rd or 4th.
I thought he was one of the last. I thought he was way further down.
Let me look.
I don't know.
Let me look. Anyways, okay, Giants all-time leading goal scorer. You're telling me basically once you hit the 3rd round, they're all crapshoots.
Even as
you can't. You're telling me you can't
from a PR point of view.
You can't take a shot on the kid.
Take a shot like you can market that.
5th round. Sorry, 5th round.
5th round.
5th round. You can't take him in the 5th round?
Yeah.
Like, no 5th rounders make it. And plus, I checked him at Play On last year and we beat his team. It's no big deal. I should be in the NHL.
Who should be at what?
We played his team at Play On last year.
Oh, right. You play. Yeah, that's right.
I checked him.
You played against Burrows too, didn't you?
No, I never played against Burrows. He was gone. By the time I started playing in the Nationals, he was in the NHL, so he couldn't play anymore.
There we go. I know. Yeah, it's the thing with the NFL is in college. There's like all the way from high school all the way through. There's so many people that just get missed. And
it's just because they're too small.
Exactly. And the other thing is, you see it in you'll see guys in that come out of nowhere in college for the NFL.
Guys who maybe their senior year they kind of grow and
and you'll see that in the NHL. The guy will get drafted not very high. You know, you'll see him work his way through, and
he'll be in the AHL for maybe 4 or 5 seasons,
and you'll see he's one of those guys who's just a late bloomer.
Yeah.
But you'll see them progress. It won't just come from nowhere.
Yes.
Like you'll see in the NFL where this guy who's either undrafted or like Wes Welker, or that's even a bad one because he had Tom Brady throwing to him. But you know, you always hear every year about these guys who are undrafted free agents, and they become stars that year.
It's just a matter of a lot of the times in college. It's just like you grow, right? You grow from that 20 to 21. You grow a lot, or something like that, right?
Oops. Yeah. So, what do you think? What's your predictions for the playoffs this year? What do you like? I know you said you had.
Well, I had Rangers beating Chicago. And now what do we got? Rangers and Tampa at 2-2. Anaheim's up 2-1. I'm going to stand by my prediction still.
You think so?
Sure. It's only 2-1 on the other side. You can't count out Chicago. Man,
no.
When you got Jonathan Toews and Patrick Kane and Duncan Keith.
Sharp, Keith. Like, they are... Hossa.
He's declining a bit, but that guy's still a good player.
Defensively, he's still
so
amazing.
Good.
He's good with the puck. He's just not sniping.
No, he's not.
He's getting shots. Yeah. He's just not putting them in the net.
That guy's a horse with the puck. But, I mean, I know, but it's tough to argue against the Getzlaf Perry team. But.
I know. It's the same thing, right? For years, because Anaheim usually got knocked out by LA or whatever, them in San Jose, LA, they were.
But they never had a good enough team around them.
No, they didn't. And now they do.
They're one thing
top to bottom.
I remember I texted Kyle last night when they were playing, and I was like, man, I'm seriously envious of Anaheim's young D that they have. Like,
they're not going to be able to keep them all.
They are. They're going to be able to for a little bit until those guys start making money. But like Fowler, Lindholm, Vatanen, Dupree, they got Theodore coming up. They got like that. Basically, they got Boschman and Stoner as their old guys. Like,
and Boschman is one of the top shutdown D-men.
Yeah, and he's still good. He's old, but like,
how old is he now?
Yeah, he's probably like 35 or something. But like Vatanen, Dupree, Fowler, and Lindholm, like that is an excellent young four.
Yeah,
like that's ridiculous. They stole Fowler in that draft.
Yeah, they did.
And they stole Dupree in that trade because they traded Ben Lovejoy for him. I don't know what the fuck Pittsburgh was thinking. Yeah. Like, Simone Dupree was the one maybe coming here for Kessler, but they didn't want to do it. And Anaheim just stole him.
Yeah, it's a crapshoot sometimes though with drafts, man. And
it absolutely is. That's when
it's unfortunate
when people phone in. They're like, "Why didn't the Canucks do this? Why didn't the Canucks do this?" So it's like, well, 29 other teams didn't take him either. So whoever's
listening on Mixer, we will be right back. I just got to restart.
Oh,
it's all good.
But shit, I lost my point.
Talking about
like the draft. Like you really. I mean, the draft is still all luck. Like, you can do your best work and assume that this guy is going to turn into something, but you still never know.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree. Well, that's it. We're out of time, man. That went by real fast.
It did, and we only touched 2 topics we wrote down.
Pretty much. Well, I got 3. We got Brady. You know what? Actually, have you seen Fast and Furious 7?
No, I haven't.
Curious. I seen it. It was what you expect from Fast and Furious movies.
I've
seen them all now. The last few have all been wicked. Like, as far as like action packed, fucking just crazy shit, stupid one-liners. They don't deviate from what works for them. They know it's cheesy, but it still works.
Oh, it's great. I think I'm still only at fast
5,
4.
5, 6, and 7 have all been really good.
See, I like them all. The only one I haven't seen is Tokyo Drift.
That's
The
only one that
I should
wasn't
say.
good.
But nobody's. You know what? That is what's great about the movies is the fucking pure cheese and the action.
Yeah,
and they know it. Yeah, they understand that that's what they are.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, I just got something here.
What's going on here?
I was going to say, I don't care about that. But they did a really good job at the end of doing a tribute to Paul Walker.
Did they?
Like the way they ended the movie, I thought they clearly ended it. And you have to watch it. Obviously.
I don't care if you spoil.
No,
it.
they don't.
They don't kill.
Spoiler alert.
His brother.
They don't in this one. They don't kill him off in this one, but they show that he's gone. Like they end his story. They end it. The song they play. I think it's a really good song. You probably wouldn't like it, but
what is it?
It's Wiz Khalifa and this piano something Puth, Puth, Sam Puth or something like that, or something. Anyways, I thought it was a really good song, and man, I got teary eyed. Like the way they ended it, and like the brotherhood and like all that stuff. They did a really, really good job, I thought. But thank you for coming out for short notice, as usual.
No problem.
Doesn't seem to fail, and we're gonna play you guys out with a little Jock Jam MegaMix. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next week.
Yeah, baby! Yeah!
Tune is a driving insane.
Oh, behave.
Take a break.